everybody. It's me, Carmine DeStefano, the Bookman. And I'm literally sitting down, walking in from seeing the Amazing Spider-Man 2. I actually was going to originally call it the Ultimate Miscast 2, but I'm not going to go that far. The reason why is because a lot of the aspects I thought were going to be more from Ultimate Spider-Man. Really, there was a minor character, and I do mean minor, that was more designed in terms of the way he came out as a nemesis of Spider-Man to look more like the Ultimate version than the original version that I grew up with. I'm talking Rhino. And before I get into that, let me just say that the movie, if you like the first one, this one bombards you with just better shit. It's got better action. They're really doing something great with the spider sense, which one of the things I did not like from the other trilogy was that Sam Raimi or whatever the fuck that was. One of the things I didn't like was they didn't really get into the whole spider sense. My spider sense is tingling. Anyone call for a web slinger? Like, they didn't really get into the whole spider sense thing. This really, in this movie, it really plays up to the whole spider sense, and they're doing it extremely well. Now, again, it's not a new technology that they've sort of implemented. You've seen it before, you've seen it sort of with Sherlock Holmes and whatever, but it's still done in a way that's kind of, it's kind of set aside, or unique, I should say, to Spider-Man. But the story really, the one thing, they kill off Norman Osborn, as I'm sure you've seen. I hope I'm not giving away any spoilers here. But they go with that angle, and I think it kind of loses something with the Green Goblin, as I was saying to my friend, Primetime Stevie B, who I saw this with, and his cousin Nick, an old movie buddy of mine anyway. They're cousins, of course, so they're family. So there's no buddy there, but But I said to them originally that to me the Green Goblin kind of loses some steam when it's not Norman Osborn, because Norman Osborn basically went nuts. Harry sort of played both angles, kind of. He started off nuts and angry, and then he kind of settled down and whatever. So to me, the Green Goblin should always start off as Norman, but they played this whole thing where there was a disease that the two of them had that they shared and whatever. So again, I don't want to spoil anything, but I'll keep it there. I will say a few things. The Electro, and let me just be out with it right away. Everyone was phenomenal, more or less. Everyone was great. Jamie Foxx, who I always loved anyway, is great. Even I'm talking about in living color. You know, I got you. Like, I'm talking about that Jamie Foxx. I've been a fan of Jamie Foxx since then. So, and what was that movie he was in? Booty Call. You know, he was great. Like, he's always, I like to take this moment from knocking the boots. You know, he was always great at what he did. And when he played Ray, you know, Sugar Ray. What the fuck is wrong with me? Ray Charles. Jesus, God, help me. It's late. I gotta go to bed soon, so don't mind me if I'm loopy. But everything that he's ever done, I've been a fan of. So I thought he was really, really great. Miscast, but great. And why do I say miscast? Because he's too good for this role. He's too accomplished. He's too good for this role. It's like Paul Giamatti as Rhino. He was in it for 5 seconds. So really there was no, and there's that 5 again, my favorite number. There really was no purpose of having Paul Giamatti play Rhino, which now that I've brought it up, I'm going to flat out say they got to do something with the Rhino suit. That is, the Rhino suit that they have in this is Ultimate Spider-Man. Amazing Spider-Man, the one I grew up with, Rhino was a big guy in a suit. He was grafted into a suit, and he was kind of like Juggernaut in the fact that he had a lot of speed, agility, and superhuman strength. He was 900 pounds. And not only that, but he fought the Hulk and Juggernaut, if I'm not mistaken. He fought both. So that goes to show you what kind of menace he was. And he was in it for, 3 minutes. Then he disappeared. Then he was in it for another 3 minutes, and that was that. So you didn't need Paul Giamatti for that part. But like Jamie Foxx was awesome as Electro, and not the old Electro with the stupid hat, the helmet mask thing with the electronic shit and the green and the yellow. No. He was as serious as that one, but he didn't look as stupid as that one. They made him look good. They made the Green Goblin look really good, and I was surprised. but they made him look really good, and they did it differently. They didn't have a stupid helmet or sunglasses or whatever the fuck. They actually had his face, and I'm not sure who the actor was that played him. I don't know his name. Please, somebody, please post it on this review what his name is, because he really did, like, you could see he was loving being a Green Goblin for all of 2 minutes. He was loving it. Something happens that if you're a comic book fan, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to say it. If you're a comic book fan, you should expect it. It happens. Of course, Andrew Garfield is fucking ridiculous. He's just so awesome in everything that he does. This is like his role. But you know the thing about Andrew Garfield is you can see him in another movie and you'll just forget that he was Spider-Man because he's that awesome. But he was phenomenal. Sally Field, who I said was miscast, because again, it's Aunt May, all right? It's fucking Aunt May. If you want to know about Aunt May, read Deadpool, all right? Read the issue of Deadpool that my phenomenal extraordinary friend from Scott from Superflex Music has and showed me. Read the Deadpool when he goes back in time to the original Spider-Man era, the 60s. I actually made mention of, in 1961, I would have been getting a nice song. Like, you'll see what I'm saying. You'll see what I'm saying. They introduced some things. This really was, although a second movie, was kind of an introduction to other things. And if you've seen the trailers, you know what those other things are. And again, if you're a comic book fan, you know what I'm referring to. It deals with the number 6. I'm not saying anything else. If you're a comic book fan, you know what I'm talking about. If you're not, you'll see. Maybe. But, like I said, there were 3 villains. One was Electro. He was probably in it for like 20 minutes. One was Osborn. He was probably in it for 40 minutes tops. 2 minutes as the Goblin. You'll see what I'm talking about too. That was pretty awesome how they did that. Rhino was in it for like 6 minutes. A lot of it dealt with Spider-Man and Gwen. But the thing about it, Emma Stone, who I'm in love with, she's beautiful. She's phenomenal. The two of them are just great. They have phenomenal chemistry. I know they were either seeing each other or they're still seeing each other, whatever the case. They were great. Those two are the only ones that, again, are not overplayed in the sense that you kind of need those two to play their roles. You don't need Sally Field, and she's phenomenal. You don't need Paul Giamatti, he's phenomenal. You don't need Jamie Foxx, he's phenomenal. You don't need them, but they do their job, and they do it spot on. It was really a very exciting, electric, no pun intended, movie with some spectacular, no pun intended again, action scenes, a lot of intense moments, a lot of dramatic moments. My friend Steve, Primetime Stevie B, had to almost ruin it for me by proclaiming Felicia at one point. Again, if you're a comic book fan, you know who I'm referring to. If you're not, you'll see. But he kept saying Felicia, so of course I had to keep saying I hunger for plasma. It got messy. But there was a lot. You find out what happened to his parents. It was really, really well done, well put together. The action was great. There were a lot of moments that were subtle that kind of cooled you down, but they didn't last too long. I'll say this, and I don't usually say this, for a 2.5-hour movie, I was wanting for it to be longer. So take that for what it's worth. But I do suggest seeing it. You're not going to see anything really that good. By the way, don't stay for all the credits. You only get one thing, and it's right after, and it's got nothing to do with Spider-Man, so I don't see what the fuck point was. But I will say this, when I saw the trailers, I do have a terrible fear for humanity, not just because there's another 21 Jump Street coming out, which in itself was a reprehensible, disgusting, obnoxiously horrific movie, but that had nothing to do with the show it was supposed to be based off of, or at least the title was. But they're making a sequel called whatever, 22 Jump Street, and everything in it was so fucking ridiculous and stupid and sophomoric and idiotic, and everyone laughed their asses off during it, especially the kids, which really disturbs me because the kids shouldn't be able to know anything that was being referenced. The other trailer I saw was the X-Men movie trailer, and I have to say thank you for putting Bishop in it. It looks somewhat interesting. Maybe if my friends will see it, maybe if I'm forced to see it, I might go and see it. But when it comes to this, really, other than maybe X-Men and of course The Hobbit, there's really nothing you're going to be able to see this year. I guess Winter Soldier, the Captain America movie, which that you stay for both. You stay for right after the movie and the end credits, not this one. But if you want to see one movie that's not The Hobbit this year, make it this one. Amazing Spider-Man 2 was really great, a lot of fun, very exciting, and very deep and intense. You'll enjoy it. I guarantee it. You'll enjoy it, especially if you like the first one. If you like the first one, you have to see it. If you're a Spider-Man fan, you should see it. And if you didn't watch the first one, maybe you should see this one just for fun, just for, kicks. I thank you all for watching. I have more views soon to come, so stay tuned, take care, and have a great day.